I'm
You
about
good?
to. And we're live.
After this, we're doing a normal game, right?
I hope so.
Okay. Well, for our normal game, I'll just say it when we get to there. I'll talk about it then. We'll just keep it all on one stream, go forward. That'd be great.
No, alright. So should we get in there? We'll get in there. Game is starting. The
We're gonna have to
match
wait for it
begins.
to load, of course, but
But of course.
I'll mention like 80 times during this. This is totally a replay.
Yep, this is a replay. This is not live gameplay. You could tell by the fact that, I don't know, some weird guy was playing me.
Yeah, what a weirdo.
Yeah.
So, on the enemy team, we have Artanis, Karazim, Sylvanas, Lunaria, and Raynor, as they take on our hometown favorites, Gazlo, Lily, Karazim, Artanis, and Tracer.
Now,
What will be
as
a
you
fantastic outing.
Now, as you know, Morales, played by OO Companion Cube, is out with the I don't care about playing games with you fuckers. So he is replaced with the Dying Angel, who's maining Tracer.
It could be an interesting matchup, as these four competitors have never played with this Tracer before.
Yes, indeed, but for now, we need to
Oh
see
no,
how it
we're
begins.
observing the other team. We can't.
Hmm.
I must
Yes.
go. My people need me.
Ah. And it appears that Artanis is sitting in the base, alone, forever.
Oh, indeed. Lucario, lover on the blue team, is doing the same.
Ah.
The battle begins.
I don't remember how to use this thing.
I pretty much just scroll around. I'm not sure if there's a way to follow someone. I'm sure there is.
3,
Did I
There
zoom
should
in?
be a way. Someone.
1.
Ah, that's just a normal distance, you see. You look too far in.
Oh, double click on someone and you'll warp to them. You won't follow them, but you'll warp to them.
Huh. Good enough, Bob. Hmm.
Okay, so as we can see here, the beginning of the game, Buckus lags out. He's out of the game immediately.
Oh, replaced by a bot. This is unfortunate. Let's see how this goes for the poor AI. And he's dead.
Indeed. And as you can see, there are conflicts everywhere. Red team's Charism dies with the Tracer up top, I think, right?
Looks like not.
Wherever he died. So, Buckus is already down one time. He leaves the game again in disgust at how his boss performs.
Which, unfortunately, does not help the issue, but merely makes it worse. As Botkus, well, he hasn't died yet. I'm surprised, personally. But let's look down bottom with the panda and the gnome, who happens to have a mech.
He's,
Doing good,
correction,
doing
a goblin.
Welcome back.
Thank you very much.
And as the Raven Lord so kindly suggests, Private Butkus is back, just in time to... No, I could have... Nope, it was false reconnection. That's a shame.
And Karazim goes down, I think, a second time.
Indeed, second time, which happens
Oh,
to
and two,
coincide...
giving the early advantage to the blue team.
Indeed, they already have the middle tower.
Artanis and Sylvanas were virtually unopposed as they went through that tower.
They didn't even have to back off, and the turret was shooting him in their faces.
Lily made an attempt to go and save the turret, but she's Lily.
And I mean, really, what's she gonna do? It's understandable. It is.
Claim the altars in my name.
Indeed.
It looks like the bottom altar is going very well for the home team, red team.
But the top right has been taken over by the blue team.
This, unfortunately, is due largely to a numbers disadvantage on the red team's
Created by
part.
two on the bottom. Also created by Lily, who can't fight worth shit.
But she still pulls it out for her team down bottom.
To the Gravekeeper.
Thanks mostly to Gazlo. So the red team is already down 7 core points due to the early tower gained by the blue team. This is looking grim from the start, and there goes Tracer downed by the blue team.
Oh,
Oof.
I didn't even see that, Bob. I was not paying close enough attention, but we know it happened.
Indeed, because the game specifically says who's died. Oh boy. Red team looks like they just stopped a push from the blue team and
But
are
un-
trying to pick off Karazim. Can they do it? The answer is no.
But
Karazim manages
unfortunately-
to slip out.
But unfortunately, pretty much unopposed down bottom, the gate and red team's bottom tower has taken quite a few blows.
Indeed. And it looks as if it'll take some more.
Raynor up top, hoping to steal the sapper camp away from two of these competitors, chooses an ill-timed moment. Unfortunately, has to back off.
But now Karazim is there to help. Unfortunately, they did not get it in there in time.
And now both blue team members split off. One to defend against the sappers and one to go after the sapper capturers.
Unfortunately, this only enables them to be injured even worse in the skirmish.
The altars will rest.
Indeed, red team escapes
Meanwhile-
pretty much unscathed.
Meanwhile, down below, red team's Gazlo has just taken over a siege camp solo.
Indeed.
Excellent work from him.
Caslow is a very powerful siege character. Unfortunately, not so great in direct confrontations. He meets two
As shown
characters
here.
but manages to slip away.
Lily and Tracer have now arrived to his aid, but Lily and Gazlo move forward to attack Sylvanas. Blue Team Sylvanas manages to escape the conflict as Lunara captures the tower.
A very good distraction play indeed.
It seems as if Gazlo and Lily are a little bit miffed, and they return to a scene that does not really look good.
It doesn't look particularly bad though, Bob, either. But that's mainly because the other team, blue team, is splitting up their forces.
Indeed, they made a silly mistake.
They were slightly overconfident and figured that the three people who were there would remain the three people who were there.
Unfortunately for them, Lily with some clutch heals managed, and Artanis' shield and Karazim's healing managed to keep the team alive,
Just enough.
even in those dire straits.
And now Karazim, like an idiot, hearts in broad view of the enemy team because he wasn't even in a bush. He wasn't punished for it, but it bears mention.
Indeed. So both teams managed to weasel out a tower there, much to the other team's frustration.
Yes, Bob. This blue team, they are returning champions from Nobody Gives a Craptopia. They're looking to secure this win because I don't think the other team, the red team, deserves to be in this match.
Indeed. As we can see here though, Karazim has just stopped a push from Gazlo. Meanwhile, at middle, there's a bit of a team fight going on. And unfortunately, the red team is coming off on the worst end of it. But luckily, Tracer manages to slip out, and they scoop up an Artanis kill.
That couples
Look.
very well with the Sylvanas kill. They captured right before she was able to push middle as well, also helping
Indeed.
out the team fight.
Blue team has
Oh.
been a little bit staggered in their early encounters.
And now blue team Karazim was distracted with probably chatting with his team. Didn't notice the monk, the other monk, who came
And was
destroyed.
destroyed. Gazlo is on bottom, taking yet another siege camp. It's actually the same one he already took. Meanwhile, Sylvanas on the other side, doing the same. Both are
Karazim
soloing.
and
Yeah.
Artanis meeting it at the top left altar.
And red
Unfortunately,
team is caught out 3-2 up at the top left altar.
doesn't look too bad yet though, as Lily's there for some clutch healing, and Artanis' shield's holding firm.
Gazlo and Tracer also had arrived upon the scene, and this allows for a little bit of a rout. Blue team's being pushed back, but red team is by no means out of the woods.
Not even slightly. They managed to get one of the red team's members down, and that makes two.
And now it's a 3v3, but it looks like red team cannot hold out and are withdrawing.
Yes, indeed. It looks as
And
though the team has split up, though, allowing red team to capture the
a
top
tower.
right
Meanwhile,
tower.
Karazim is being chased by Lunara and has been killed by her.
Unfortunately, he just wasn't able to get his healing off, Bob.
Indeed. And blue team managed to capture that tower despite the hard fight that red team had put up moments ago.
Very unfortunate. Ooh,
Indeed.
a
And
Gazlo
Gazlo
caught
has now
up
been
middle.
caught out at the mid and was destroyed.
Utterly, he didn't even have a shot.
Indeed.
This begins a sad time, I believe, as the deaths are appearing to be coming in very staggered.
But Lily is managing to keep her 3 allies alive despite the disadvantage in numbers. 2 outnumbered by 2, but Tracer stupidly charged back in and died.
Probably just didn't quite have her thing up in time, you know. Unfortunate.
Indeed, she could have used a rewind if it was ready. However, Tracer's noble sacrifice almost led to a blue team kill. To a, them dying.
That would have been nice, Bob.
Red team has to be slightly frustrated with their Gazlo for not coming down to middle in a clutch situation.
Indeed, but at least he's pushing slightly.
Exactly.
I have
But
not
from what we know
noticed
of Red
this.
team's competitors, they are pretty chill and don't much care about the game.
I have not noticed this until right this moment, but it appears as though Lunara has been keeping a wisp in the boss zone to ensure that her team is not taken by surprise and has the chance to capture any idiots who are caught out in that position.
Indeed, it's a smart strategy, but ultimately unnecessary as Red team has yet to be able to get any momentum.
Indeed, we cut back to the action, and the middle tower is under Blue's control. Still, it cuts
But
out
luckily Gazlo takes the top tower, evening out the numbers as the altar comes up.
Indeed, personally, I'd have preferred him be in a position. Oh, sweet escape by Tracer.
Tracer had to escape early, leaving Lily and Artanis to try and fight, but Lily is down. Karazim manages to chase down Sylvanas.
Uses his ult. Very silly, I admit, but still gets the kill. Doesn't manage to have any sort of escape in the coming
And
fight.
is defeated. Meanwhile, his teammates have already been pushed back. Tracer's still trying to stay in there.
Looks
but
as though
destroyed.
Gazlo's finally joined the fight, though. He was probably there seconds earlier. Who knows?
But he is dead. Oh, we can actually see the chat.
Ooh.
At least for our side. And you can see that Tracer's expressing despair at having gone in too early.
I'm fairly certain we were watching this a bit earlier, Bob, and we decided that that was in fact Lily's fault.
Indeed, for dying within 5 seconds of entering the combat.
Yes. It's always sad when you're the first one to come back from a team fight with the rest of your team having at least 10 seconds left as well.
Indeed. It's also terrible whenever you're a healer and you're dead instantly, as you're unable to provide your function.
At the moment, though, you are providing the... He is providing the most heals on his team.
Which is not a surprise, since he's only competing with a Karazim, who is traditionally not particularly built for healing.
That is true, although this one does seem to be trying to get the group heals as much and often as possible.
Which Red Team has to appreciate. Unfortunately, Red Team has chosen to engage without Lily here, which costs them a little bit of help, but luckily Lily's timely intervention allows for a blue Artanis to go down.
Indeed, if she was not there, it likely would have been 2 Red Team members dying.
It may have been a complete rout. The score currently is 29 in favor of the blue team to 19 in favor of the red. Red team is not doing well.
If they
3
want
towers now.
If they want this to start looking up, they're gonna have to capture the majority of these towers.
Indeed, it looks like top right is already being guarded by two blue team members, and a little bit of a skirmish is happening near the bottom.
Indeed, Tracer goes for it, but she's not able to deal out quite enough damage to pop what's-his-face. Fortunately,
But Raynor is killed by the Kerosene, who then destroys the Sylvanas after Sylvanas takes out Tracer.
unfortunately,
Gazlo, in the
just a bit
meantime-
late.
Indeed, but luckily for the red team, Gazlo managed to take the top left.
And now he's
And-
going to try and sneak it, but the rest of the red team just could not hold up and stall for long enough.
Indeed, and while we were distracted with the Kerosene battle, Lily and Artanis were destroyed in the middle.
Well,
Lily
I'll
survived by sacrificing her friend.
Your powers will be known.
see, now to me, it just seems like her friend sacrificed her own life, you know.
I don't think that's what happened.
Don't worry about it. Lily, with her fast feet, manages to avoid the giant slow-moving laser easily.
And shrugs off the attempted attack by Artanis. Meanwhile, Tracer and Kerosene are pushing the top right tower.
Mindful all the while of the intense push about to happen to their bottom turret.
And by that he means they have no idea.
That's true, but it sounds better this way.
And there goes the bottom turrets. Much
Everyone's
to Red Team's
favorite Red
disgust.
Artanis, here to attempt to do something, but very, very, very late, and likely would have died either way. Blue
team
team,
is now in a remarkable 13-point lead. I don't even know if that's accurate. It's not.
the poor Lily, just tries to scout and sees them capture that sapper camp.
And
Unfortunately,
gets completely eviscerated.
she also saw the entire team capture that sapper camp.
Blue team has been doing a remarkable job in certain scenarios of keeping together, but in others they've shown very much negligence in staying as a unit.
Unfortunately, when it's mattered most so far, what is this stupid Kerosene doing? I don't even know. When it matters
And he's
most,
dead.
he deserves it, Bob. When it matters most, Blue Team has so far been able to stick together.
Indeed. Meanwhile, Red Team has always been at a numbers disadvantage, whether it be because one member is gone, or in this case, two.
That said, both top and bottom receiving a push, bottom a much more thorough and effective. Altars are about to be up.
One might say that both Tracer and Gazlo should have been in that last battle, especially because Gazlo's now dead. If they had
Indeed.
been there would have been a chance for the Red Team to avoid being destroyed.
Not disappoint me.
Tracer and Lily are now attempting to guard the middle tower, but ultimately it is futile.
Indeed, these
Or
characters
is
just
it?
have too much damage output for them to ignore. They manage to get the kill and continue to run.
Only for Lily to be caught out. Unfortunate. But for them to
Unfortunate.
fight a 3v2 and manage a kill is still something rather
Remarkable,
worth
Bob,
celebrating.
remarkable. They capture the
But-
tower and deal 5 additional damage all the same.
And Red Team is now down to a mere 4 remaining points of health.
At 17 minutes in, levels 20 and 20, this is not looking good.
Not at all. Some might say it's looking very bad. Red Team is currently up 6 kills.
Has destroyed a fort.
Or Blue Team's currently up 6 kills. And something happened on the top and someone died.
That was Tracer. She actually had a very good getaway from Artanis? From Kerosene, it looked good, but she dashed into Raynor.
Something happened up there and that's all that really matters.
Top tower held firm all the same, and it looks as though the red team has won the top team fight
Indeed.
utterly, completely routed.
With only 4 health remaining, Red Team suspected that Blue Team would go for the boss and put up a daring defense, which they succeeded in. Now red team makes the foolish decision to try and take on the boss, resulting in a red team death, 2 red team deaths as Artanis and Gazlo go down.
Luckily,
Luckily,
you do it your better.
Karazim and Lily managed to take out Lunara, largely due to the fact that the other 3 members of Blue Team were already down.
Indeed. If there was any sort of team there, they would have been screwed. As it stood, Lunara did an excellent job of distracting them.
And
Now-
also scooping up those 2 kills.
Indeed. Now it
But
appears...
Sylvanas was on her own, and the 3 intrepid heroes killed her real fast. Okay.
Indeed. And now they have a free tower. It won't do much because neither team can secure a tower break this quickly. But all
And
the
2 more
same,
damage is dealt, dealing blue to 24. However, it's important to note that 3 sappers managed to get through the wall and deal 3 more damage to red team, who are now on the dangerous territory of only 1 more remaining.
damn it, I missed that again. I am the worst.
Blue Artanis makes a key mistake, diving into the tower, and is destroyed utterly.
He's
Lily
remembering
shows up to help fight Karazim, and Tracer secures the kill.
that Artanis was remembering just one too many early victories.
Indeed, even without Gazlo supporting them, the 4 defending red team members managed to push off the 4 attacking blue team members.
Only over pursuing a little bit in the process.
One might say the key mistake there was Artanis diving in the tower, and they'd be correct.
I would not disagree with that in the slightest.
3 blue team members, Raynor, Sylvanas, and Lunara, attempt to take out Lily, and kind of do a little bit of damage, but unfortunately pull out a little too far, resulting in Raynor and Sylvanas being killed in exchange for Lily.
Indeed. I believe they did not see the rest of the enemy team. It looks like Red Team is once again trying to take the boss.
Indeed, and Lunara is down because Tracer had followed her, giving them a 4-to-1 advantage if the blue team could mount a defense. And red team gets the boss, putting 4 more damage on the blue team. It's now 20-1. Still looking very dismal for the red team, who if they lose even 1 fight, they can lose the entire game.
But we've seen one too many come from behind underdog victories to count them out just yet, haven't we?
The answer is kind of no.
Don't worry about it.
Artanis goes to middle all by himself, but then Karazim comes to reinforce him, forcing off the 2 red team members who are already there.
Indeed.
Luckily for them, blue team's Artanis was still caught out and killed by the Karazim and Gazlo, allowing the other Karazim, the blue team Karazim, to also be felled.
Indeed.
2 towers have been gained by the red team, putting blue down to only 12 HP.
One might question, although understand completely, the logic behind... it's freezing. It's fine. The logic behind diving in with only 2 characters to defend. It seems like it might have been better to let the rest of his team respawn, but I understand. It's a very emotional thing.
Had blue team just relaxed and allowed their whole team to respawn, they could have had a much better chance at taking out red team. As it is now, they are down 2 members. Red team 5v3 here, and Karazim dives to take out a Sylvanas.
Through a wall. That was good. I laughed.
And now they're down 4-5 once these 2 respawn, as Sylvanas will be out for an entire minute.
Red Team is doing everything they can to secure kills and avoid their own.
Red Team is, in fact, trying to keep the... Well, there goes Private Butkus again. Red Team loses their Karazim.
I didn't remember that happening. It must have been very temporary.
Indeed. However, Red Team right now, the objective that they seem to be employing is trying to keep the man advantage, which they aren't doing very well.
Indeed. They have they have 2-1 down presently.
Indeed, that was a key Artanis kill. With 2 towers up, red team has to secure both of them, or red team will lose. Blue team is currently defending top left, but are still down 1 member.
203
Red
takes the
team's-
top right.
Red team's Artanis 203 takes the top right turret, as Karazim of the blue team is killed in exchange for red team's Tracer.
A fair play. Tracer a bit too squishy to last in long drawn out fights.
Somewhere down the line, somebody else also died.
Everyone except Lunara.
Indeed, Sylvanas tried to dive in, unfortunately, and was killed. I may have missed Lily using her ult, but I'm pretty sure she used her ult in that confrontation.
She did indeed. It helped. Everyone except the Tracer.
It kept her alive for a bit, but the Tracer just couldn't stay in it.
This is looking like a much more even game now, wouldn't you say?
Indeed, red team has stopped all of blue team's attempts to win, snuffing out every attempt and pulling it to 4-1. Red team needs only to capture either the boss or currently 1 more tower. Same
Indeed.
goes for blue team.
Mirroring what happened earlier in the game for blue team, red team captures a sapper, hoping to bring the opponents down to 1 HP.
Indeed. Red team is currently splitting up as Gazlowe is working on sappers currently, but that's okay because they have an advantage.
Unfortunately not anymore. The blue
Nope.
team are all alive.
Indeed, this could be the pivotal moment, as it is now 1-1, and every member of each team is still standing. And now we have our team fight. Blue Artanis and Red Raynor are both killed, or go
Red.
back the other way.
Indeed, all the same when you think about it.
Their
This
Karazim.
is
Oh, Artanis way over pursued and was killed.
He wanted it too much.
This
It would
puts
have been
blue
good
team-
to have it for his team to have him in the upcoming battle. The pivotal moment, the deciding factor, the last temple point.
3
4-1.
versus 4 on the enemy
That
team.
too.
Here we go. Blue team has 3. Karazim, Lunara, and Sylvanas, while red team has Gazlowe, Karazim, Tracer, and Lily, who's nowhere near the conflict right now. Oh, and they have... Wait, what? Who's dead? They don't have Artanis, they have Gazlowe. Alright. And just like that, red team manages to wipe the remainder of blue team, picking up the win.
Wow, amazing! GG, 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 awesome job, guys!
Somehow,
GG, GG.
Red
Wait
team,
again.
from a 20-1 disadvantage, manages to win every single conflict following that.
29-1, Bob.
I don't think it was 29-1.
I believe. Oh, you're right. It was 26-1.
I think it was 24-1.
I'm pretty sure they were at 1 at 29. I'm not completely sure though. You may be
You're
right.
an idiot and are the worst commentator on the planet.
Hey, how's about you turn around, look up at the Titantron, they're playing your song. Oh, what's that? A steel chair out of nowhere!
And you are, quite frankly, the worst of the worst.
I am not a good human being. You know that about me.
So red team manages against all odds to prevail in this conflict, because blue team simply would never allow themselves to have a 5-man team that stayed together.
Indeed, it was sad as they were doing a very good job at the start.
And then they threw it all away, and red team manages to win. Our team, we're the best. This was an amazing game,
Yeah, I enjoyed it.
and we weren't going to do those shitty voices originally, but we did that anyway.
Yeah, it's impossible for us not to.
We all knew what was going to happen. Well, let's play a real game now.
Yeah.
So you
Damn
can end the stream for a second, change the name, and we'll be ready to go.
Okie dokie.
Also, make sure you upload that too.